Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Random Thoughts by EJBJ. Well, it's been a while since I made a video. Probably about maybe about a couple of weeks, or a little less than a couple of weeks, about 10 days. Um, so I finally moved. Moved into a new studio apartment. In the Waldorf area in Southern Maryland. Um, Actually, my daughter found a really good deal for this place. It's a studio apartment, but it's actually it's more like a one bedroom, but it's I guess it's a studio. It just doesn't have like a door, but it has a separate area for like sleeping and and then the other sides for entertaining and in the kitchen and stuff like that. But it's really nice. It has updated appliances, also has hardwood floors and stuff, and it was a good deal for 1,500 because it's hard to find places um, for less than that, or less than $2,000 a month, honestly, in this market. But yeah, it's definitely been an eventful couple of weeks, and it's also been pretty exhausting as well. So, but I'm all settled now and in the place. Got the dog situated and um, still dealing with things that I need to do for my disability retirement and Social Security retirement. I had a last appointment so they could do like cognitive tests and just I think it's more so behavioral and mental evaluation, just for your Social Security assessment. Because one of the things that I deal with is anxiety, and I think that's what I wanted to talk about in this video is kind of the stigma of anxiety and dealing with anxiety, growing up with social anxiety. I think, see, I was born in the 80s, but I'm a 90s kid, so I think most of the time when kids, were quiet or, they withdrew from, I would say, social interactions with others, you would say they were shy. They were just a shy kid. But sometimes it's more than that. Social anxiety is something that a lot of people deal with, whether it stems from you know environmental influences or just the way you were brought up. And I think for me it was something that I developed just based on just based on I think more so my environment, but I think it's also something that was just innate, something that was inside of me that um, a lot of times I just don't open up to others unless I feel a genuine connection with them. So yeah, so with my family, I'm very open and playful, silly, and just a fun loving person. But like a lot of times with strangers or people that I really don't know that well, I'm kind of withdrawn, quiet, still personable, still friendly for the most part, but just very quiet and reserved. And when I was younger, I a lot of times I just didn't really say too much unless I really knew you. I mean, if I know you, I would talk your head off, and you know how funny and silly I am. I like a lot of my closest friends. Um, They know how silly and I can get, especially with the voices. And I probably will do some more voiceovers. Oh wow, my phone overheated, so I got cut off. But anyway, like I was saying, I probably will do some of the voiceovers again. But back to what I was saying about anxiety. Mine is basically social anxiety disorder, or what they call it, SAD, which can actually lead to sadness and depression sometimes, which is something that I deal with. And a lot of times when you tell people that you deal with anxiety, they think that, the first thing they go to is panic attacks and always afraid and scared. Oh, this person is a little crazy or jittery. And a lot of times that's not even what it is. It's something that's internalized. It's almost a fear of being judged, or feeling like you're constantly being watched, or like somebody's always evaluating you. I think for me, I've just always had a feeling like, not necessarily that I'm different from others, but that maybe people just don't understand, or won't understand me as a person or my feelings. And a lot of times some of this stuff is irrational and it's not true, and that's why it's considered a mental health disorder. I think for me, the thing I typically do is avoid crowds and avoid situations where I'm constantly interacting with others, especially in new situations or people that I don't know that well. I've practiced with public speaking, and I'll still be a little shaky. Sometimes my palms will sweat. My hands will shake a little bit, but I think a lot of people deal with that. A fear of public speaking. But for me, if I'm out and about for too long, a lot of times I'm like, all right, I need to get out of here. I need to head back home. It's just, I don't know, a feeling of not wanting to be in a crowd, or almost feeling alone in a crowded room. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of it is mental, which is, why I, seek, therapy, and also medication. Right now, I take Zoloft, which helps a lot. It helps to keep me calm and stabilize my mood. And one of the symptoms is constant worry about things that, you really have no control over, like, things in society, and homelessness, and people getting sick, dying, and because it's a part of life. You can't sit and worry about that type of stuff all the time. It's good to prepare and be aware of it, but when it gets to a point where it's affecting your everyday life, work, school, or having feelings of being overwhelmed, or one thing I try to do is, which is a technique that I learned from therapy, is to not focus so much on the negative, but focus more so on positive outcomes. Because a lot of times I do tend to worry about things that could happen, that might not necessarily happen. And that's the thing, where you have to get to a point where you're understanding that, yes, you have anxiety, but there are things that you can control. Some of your thoughts you can control. And I just want people to understand that anxiety is something that over 15 million Americans deal with. It's not something, that you should be deemed with as, being crazy or being, a person that's not easy to deal with or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I actually enjoy, people. I love people. But I think for me, sometimes I have to withdraw because I'm very empathetic. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I take on, too much stress or worrying because I'm worried about other people. So, but I just want to help, normalize that everyone has fear. Everyone has a fear of being judged. Everyone has things that they struggle with. And anxiety is just something that is, it is a mental health disorder. And like anything, there are treatments for it. And it can prevent you from, having, normal relationships and being able to work and go to school and do things effectively, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to, there are, treatments for it, and that's just like a PTSD. I think a lot of times people, when they hear that that's something you deal with, they think, first thing they think is, oh, this person has, mental problems. And yes, but it doesn't mean that it will affect you. A lot of times it only affects the person who's having that internal struggle, so, but like, I've dealt with it for 45 years. I think with work and, in this, politically charged environment, I think me personally being in an office environment, a fast-paced, constant, change and stuff like that, it's not something that I want to deal with. I could if I had to. It would be difficult, but if I had to, yes, I could do it. So I just want to, I just wanted to talk about that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate. But I guess that's all for now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And that's from EJBJ. Well, all right.